Hello, everyone. We have returned. So there was a little bit of I saw I missed a little bit of chat here while I was up. Ended up getting some string cheese and a beef jerky. Good combo together. And of course, you can't go wrong with the store brand generic diet cherry cola.
I'm the one with chips and queso today.
Oh snap, dude!
It's a shame that they don't do cherry colas over here enough.
I
Like you can buy cherry coke if you go to like the specialty import stores, but or they have started stocking it in supermarkets now. But otherwise, that's just cherry coke.
it's so it's just not regionally popular or just difficult to find.
Yeah, it's just not regionally popular. We get a vanilla cola really
Okay.
often,
Um,
like vanilla coke and
we
we also
have
vanilla Pepsi Max.
a store brand potato chip that is prime rib and horseradish. Oh my gosh, it is excellent. Oh my
That
gosh,
sounds really good.
it is. It actually tastes like what it says on the bag too. It is fantastic.
I mean, like I don't like horseradish on its own, but like
It's not
Try
super
with-
spicy nose burny horseradish. It's just a little bit there. I don't know if they like sprayed some au jus or something on the chips, but my gosh, you eat these potato chips and it takes you to Flavor Town. Anyway,
Guy Fieri taking us to Flavortown.
we left off at a very horrific. What are we doing laughing?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be sad. All right, so
Well, Kitty was just like, well, I didn't want to sleep tonight anyway.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, well, you know.
everyone can sleep. The cool kids don't.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't sleep on Sunday night, so there's that.
So where we had left off is Bright had erected this force field around Mr. Halver, who is apparently someone fed him after midnight because some things are happening right now, and I have a cat. But you know what? It's a Matty stream, so why wouldn't I have a cat?
Yeah.
At the same time, on the other side of the force field, investigator Jacob Stillwaters was wrestling with some hair that was severed that had erupted from the eyes of Mr. Halver, crawled up his arm, and was embedding itself into his... Oh, no! Hey. That was a very risky jump. What do you do? Come on. Oh, my gosh. I'd ask why, but, I mean, it's a cat.
Cat happens.
Hey, thank you, Fluffy Sheep. And so, as I was describing it, your cheeks were absorbing the hair, similar to someone just kind of sucking up a big plate full of spaghetti. And there's a moment where the tension has now, well, in the immediacy has passed. Jacob, you're still alive. You're probably breathing kind of heavy, looking around. You just pushed Mordecai away to try and save the civilian from, danger. And Bright, inside your containment force field here, is all you see is black. I mean, just all this black hair just pushed up against this force field that kind of like occasionally like moves and pulses against the inside of it.
So you said he broke through the floor. Can I see like what's down there?
It would just be some sand. I mean, because it's the shack would be like a little bit up to get out of the waves and stuff.
So it's not like a bottomless abyss showing stars and insanity.
Correct. Yet.
I don't see why we would assume that, though.
I mean, I'm just making sure.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
I'm just a sitting guard.
We hope Mr. Halver's okay. We prepare for an infinite void filled with madness and slurping sounds.
But the hunger of Jade is not here. We hope.
Is that what we're calling it now?
No, Hadar! We don't want a Hadar! No, Hadar!
So
No!
this
Does it look like there's any possibility that there might be something like that I could like go around on the other side and see, or does it look like the whole sphere is completely full of hair?
The whole sphere appears to be full of hair.
Oh, I don't want to go in there. Does anyone have better ideas?
I'm
Everybody out
pushing-
of the immediate location.
Yep, I'm going out.
Yep.
Hey,
Just monitor the situation, and we're gonna monitor it too from outside.
so I'm gonna need you to go up and stick to the ceiling here, and just stay back and watch for me, and I'll recall you as soon as I can. Be very careful. I don't want you to get smushed. This is a high smushing danger assignment. Okay. Stick her
Peggy
up
Sue
on the ceiling.
acknowledges. Gives you a little salute.
And then I'll watch through her eyes, but I'll let somebody can help me out.
I'll
Okay.
hang on to you.
Okay, thank you.
Norlai?
No, not remove yourself from the premises immediately.
But Mr. Halver.
Will only be in further danger if you end up being here. He needs his concentration, and you being here means that he's going to probably end up performing an action in order to keep you out of harm's way. The most favor you can end up performing upon him right now is the ability to not be in immediate danger. Don't make me move you, young girl.
All right.
So Bright, this is going on. You're still concentrating to keep it up, and while the force field itself hasn't given in, you're getting this almost resonance, this feedback through it. That what is contained inside of it is stressing against the sides of your force field, and you still have some room left in the wall of force that you can expand it if you want to relieve the pressure, or you can keep it the same size. What would you like to do?
Normally you can't reshape them, so I wasn't thinking that was a thing.
This isn't normal.
Okay, well I'll let it expand just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. It's enough, right there.
And the back of the house, you just hear timbers crack and snap as this thing is pushing and pulsing, like rippling underneath the skin of this wall of force. Bright, as you're holding it, you're concentrating to contain whatever's happening here, and just pulsing and growing. The back portion that was raised up like collapses, and it's just now this black egg or something, this bulbous pulsing thing is now kind of spilling out of the back of this seaside cottage.
Do we want to run? Do we want to go?
We need to keep an eye on things.
I want to keep it here for as much
But,
of the 10 minutes as I can. How many of the 10 minutes have elapsed?
Honestly, all this has really been happening in a short order. I'd say we're 3 minutes in.
Okay.
It's like we
I don't
need to keep this as contained as possible for as long as possible, and then, but be poised to run. Be poised to run away
Then why don't
very
we go
quickly.
now?
I don't want to go more than 100 feet away because I have my cricket.
Okay.
Maybe we can go down south. Maybe we can. We probably still can't cross the water. Mordecai, maybe you can ferry us across on your.
No, we can walk over the
Is it still in effect?
Yeah.
I'd say you probably have about 15 minutes or so left after some walking and talking that you did in the shack and all the dramatic things that have occurred. I'll say you have about 15 minutes left to water walk. That's fine.
Okay.
In that case, I'm gonna resummon Jasper.
Okay.
He needs to be a large creature, though. I can't resize.
You're spending a spell slot for this?
I can resummon him like Find Familiar. Once
yeah,
he's manifest.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh,
It
okay.
works
So it's just what, an action then, or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
believe so. Let me look at the spell.
Yeah, I've not played too much with mounts, so I'm not too familiar. Haha, because familiars I have played with. It's whatever improved Find Steed or something along those lines,
And
or greater steed. Yeah.
Ours.
Yep.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
cause him
you
to
have
disappear
to
and reappear.
you have to cast the spell again to resummon it. Yep. But
No,
it
I
comes
don't.
back with all of its hit points restored and all conditions removed.
We have Xanathar. Doesn't anyone? All right, I have it around
I do.
here somewhere.
I will post it.
My book's not next to me.
While this is happening, Noralai, you're outside? Are you looking in the house? Are you looking away? What are you
I'm
doing
looking
here?
towards the house.
Okay. Fenry is growling. Stay back, child. I'll protect you, Norway.
You're a good boy, Henry.
Shut
I'm
up,
really worried about Mr. Halver.
I won't let this thing get to you.
What's at this point? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was looking at the spell here. So do you have another conjure, or do you have another 4th level that you want to spend on getting Jasper back?
It would take 10 minutes. I don't have
Okay.
time.
You could presumably start trying for the ritual. You may not be able to complete it, but
It's not even a ritual. It's a spell slot.
oh, that's just the. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. You could start, I suppose, and see what happens.
Not gonna
No.
bother with it.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I didn't know. It wouldn't have dismissed him if it was like that.
It's fine.
It's
This
okay.
is the first time playing around
It's
with
your
spells.
first greater steed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, just remember though, anytime if you had the original spell and you just conjured up a horse, intrinsically it's lesser
It works the
steed,
same.
and it's gonna have, it might have a chip on its shoulder because you have a spell called Find Greater Steed. It's like, what? I'm not enough. Just
You can't fly.
I'm
Well, sure,
going to
just
try
rub
to
it in.
message into this wall of force.
okay. You can try casting a message. What would you like to say?
What's going on in there? Are you okay?
Alrighty. So you're kind of whispering into into your hand, or however you conduct this spell. Kind of, you're broadcasting it out.
So I don't think Wall of Force blocks magical effects that don't have a physical component.
It does. Let me have a look at Wall of Force real quick.
You aren't getting a reply back though, Norlai.
Or nothing can physically pass through the wall. Nothing can physically pass through the wall, but but you can be targeted by a spell that doesn't do something physically.
Right.
So, for example, you
Yeah.
could get targeted by stuff like messages, sending, mental prison.
But not things like fireball and magic missile, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Help me, Norlai. After a moment. Free me.
What do we do?
It's at this point.
Great.
Ignore. Oh, go ahead.
He wants out of there.
Who? Do you know who it is? Is it really Mr. Halver, or has someone taken him over? We don't want to release unspeakable evil.
Sounds
Only
like
the
Mr.
speakable
Halver.
variety.
That's who I was pointing at.
What are we doing, guys? We going?
I think we should continue moving
Jacob?
away. Whichever way we were going, we should continue moving that way.
Get clear.
Bright, the mass inside your force field is continuing to strain. It feels like it's going to need to grow once more. Otherwise, it could build up pressure, but you can still get one more, a little bit more radius out of this thing.
No, I'm happy with it the way it is. Expanding it just seems to be helping it grow more. So
Okay.
let's, I don't want to let it grow anymore. It's getting pretty icky. Peggy
It's
Sue,
super
maybe you could
fun.
take a couple more steps back, though. I'm just going with Mordecai, because I've got eyes on the
Mhm.
air mass.
Jacob will end up taking a moment to end up creeping a little bit further away from the house to the side to gain a better vantage point of this thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to observe it, see if is there something going on, a pattern or something else that's going on here, something that might give us some insight into what is happening. He kind of scratches at the side of his face a bit.
Okay. As you're observing and watching this, you see, now that we're passing through some more quasi-narrative time, and I'm not doing this 6 seconds at a time in this instance. Jacob, really any of you on the side there can see pressed up against the... whoop, I was going to put a square. Select. There we go. Pressed up against here seems to be like some big silvery fingers that are pushed against the wall, and they curl like they're trying to clutch or scratch. And as they do, you see, well, so maybe it's the knuckles that are becoming more prominent as the fist or the hand begins to roll. And then, so there's the tips, the 1 knuckles, the 2 knuckles, the 3 knuckles, the 4 knuckles, the 5 knuckles. And suddenly, you actually get this rotation, this constant rotation of a hand, that like this silvery hand, that are acting almost like a set of several gears next to each other that are starting to now dig into the side of the wall as it continually spins and grinds in this silver flesh pattern. Bright, you can feel this stress, this resonance against your force field, and you can see it almost distending and distorting as it sort of bulges out where this constantly churning metallic gear fist is pushing.
Okay.
Did I ever get components for teleportation circle?
I imagine you would have gotten them when you were learning the key runes or whatever.
Oh, I wasn't even sure that I was gonna get one of those at all.
Well,
Hadn't
we
purchased
you do,
it,
well, I mean,
so-
we
do-
talked
you
about
do
you
get
learning
2
some.
with the spell.
No,
Yeah.
I know that, but the material component, it costs 50 gold. I don't know if we had the time to get it.
That's fine. This is on the same day that you're trying to sell off the stuff that Mr. Halver gave you. So you don't have the money from it, but that's fine. He could have lent you a spare that he had from his closet.
I'm going to begin casting teleportation circle.
Sure.
Moving over here.
Somebody clearly did not inform me as to the nature of our current host.
Okay, everyone into the
isn't
teleportation
normal.
circle. And I can move the wall of force. I can only move it once though. So I'll huddle in, we should be safe inside it.
Yep, it takes a minute to cast.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not moving it yet though. I'm wanting to against the gears of Shonaruth. 5th level wizard versus ancient old one god. Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
Round 1, fight.
and so Jacob, this grinding of this thing inside this compressed like you could just almost feel the compression stress just sort of reverberating on some disturbingly tangible level from this thing, and you're just getting this expectation, like something is hatching, something's emerging, and in this case, it's ripping through this magical force little bit by little bit. You see these magical breaks that are nice and, well, they're bright against the darkness inside, and as it happens, you're seeing little streams of black hair, almost like water, starting to sort of pour out of the little cracks, and this gear fist, that's churning thing, emerges, almost like the beak of a little baby bird hatching. But this thing just sort of comes out and is clawing around and pulls back in. What are you doing?
This is the last chance. Anyone who's not standing inside the wall of force area is going to get eaten by Shona Ruth. Last chance to move.
Oh, yep. Boop, 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 boop.
Just
Grr.
moving.
Was waiting for Celine to end up here moving. Okay.
Okay. I poof Peggy Sue away.
Okay.
She's away. Completely away. I guess I can just remove her.
Okay.
And then I recast Wall of Force to encompass us instead.
Okay. So you surround yourself, and as that happens, you also can see that this wall of force that was being maintained and was starting to lose to the stresses, just cracks and shatters as this magical force, which, does it even behave like that? Well, apparently it does here. Just explodes in bright light, but the darkness underneath it just sort of now oozes out and sort of relaxes into, it would look like a cracked egg, where you have the white of the egg kind of spilled around, then you'd have a little lump of the yolk. And as this egg cracks across the beach, this has kind of a silvery yolk to it. The hair itself is now starting to spread all across the sands. You know, the waves are kind of lapping at it as it spills out and kind of it's washing out to sea and everything. And the silver yolk is curled, and it twitches, and a large head slowly rises up and looks over in your all's direction.
Who's that?
Kind of a head.
Mr. Halver. Are you okay, Mr. Halver?
And it gets up slowly.
I'm still good.
Spreads its wings, and all this black hair is just pouring off. Though you can see that the traditional frills and bright, I mean, you kind of enjoyed that on your ride with Mr. Halver and such.
Yeah, they were fine.
Not all of it pours off, as now Mr. Halver seems to have just this mane of black flowing hair coursing down over him. And two brilliant green eyes. And Jacob, these are startlingly green eyes, familiar green eyes, located inside the head of this dragon. That this is fairy tale nonsense. This is kid stuff. And yet, here it is. And it has Jade's eyes. You swear, as much as you probably don't want to.
Let me out. He kind of he like presses up against his wall of force, like this realization or whatever this is. He sees this and this familiarity. He's been this close. Not now. Whatever's happened, he can figure it out later. He needs to end up. He can't let her down again.
That way. I can't make holes in it and let you out. It doesn't work like that.
This is no time to be weak. Let Mr. Halver test your skills. In a disjointed kind of a voice that comes from the mouth, but not produced by the mouth. And I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
Oh.
A green glare pierces each of you. And all 5 of you, and I mean, in this case, well, I don't know. We could roll for Herbert, and they're creatures as well. You can roll for Herbert and Fenry.
Let me roll for them. I'll be very upset if this kills Herbert.
But,
It's not a 1. There's a chance it's not a 1.
Advantage. He's a plant.
that's true. Herbert is a plant. But no.
And also, these are just rolls. I don't know what their savings
Okay.
are. Fenry's cool.
Fenry, so Fenry is here. We can turn him around. Grr.
Fenry's supposed to be in the circle.
Yeah, I understand. Is growling, and as this piercing gaze falls on all of you. All 5 of you as player characters, but all 7 of you as a group here are paralyzed.
And it's a spell.
Your spell is going to fizzle as your bodies seize up from the paralyzation. And Mr. Halver takes to the skies on these wings that flap and have also these majestic black streamers, almost like the tail of a kite. This beautiful silver and black as this thing rises up. And, let's see.
Hey, where did my wall of force go?
Oh, that wasn't my.
Oh, that was the teleportation.
It's okay. Your wall is implied to be there.
Okay, I thought that was the wall. Never mind. Because I was just gonna say it shouldn't break the wall because nothing about paralyzed breaks concentration.
Oh, can you still concentrate if you're incapacitated?
You just can't take an action or reaction.
Oh, all right.
I was in the midst of casting the spell.
I think.
So
Oh, let me double check that. I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, if he's flying away, it probably doesn't matter. So this is just for my enlightenment.
He's not flying away. He's flying upwards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then let me read the book.
Actually, let's see. Yeah, so he launches up. We'll say he's 50 feet in the air, just in a leap, just poof, and is supporting himself, and is looking down at all of you with these piercing green eyes. Let's with this, why don't we move into a formal initiative? As everything on the battlefield is set for you to do whatever you're gonna do. I don't know. We're gonna find out though. So everyone, please roll an initiative for me, and we're gonna see what happens. Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me roll
Cleric
for you.
initiative.
cleric initiative. Yep.
So we have Jacob on a 21. It's pretty good. Norelai is even twitchier though, on a 23. And of course, I'm just gonna roll your pets into this for right now. Then we have Mordecai on a 13. Celine is taking her time and examining the battlefield on a 6. And Bright is a nice, comfortable middle ground of 14. So,
Herbert's not suited for combat.
well,
Let's just
hopefully,
say that.
hopefully, dragons don't have some sort of major AOE effect that they can cast, and
Hmm.
hmm,
Hmm.
hmm. Oh, all right. Well, Mr. Halver apparently is,
Who rolled the natural one?
just taking his time. All right. So we our initiative order is going to be Noralai, followed by
Why
Jacob,
do I have to go first?
because it's symbolic. Then Bright. Then Mordecai. Then Celine, and then the good guy. I mean, so Noralai, you all of you can for this effect, you all can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. So I would need a Constitution saving throw here.
Save. Nat 20.
All right, Noralai, your body that has been racked in this
I just rolled 2 nat 20s in a row. By the way.
realization. Maybe it's because something inside of you is fighting, or this determination or sadness of seeing Mr. Halver like this and what's happening. But you actually, at the end of your turn, you break out of it, and you go back into your idle fighting animation. I don't know why I have you like a monk, but whatever. All right, Jacob. It looks like the girl broke out of her kind of entrancement, her bodily freezing. Okay.
Even with Indomitable, still can't break it. Still can't break it. Yeah, Jacob is trapped.
So yeah, Jacob, you're looking up, and there's something horrifyingly familiar. Something you perhaps love and hate simultaneously, that is going on here, and your mind is working, but your body just seems to be refusing to act. And Bright, what are you doing?
Oh, I think all I can do is roll a con save, right? I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. If you could shout something,
Okay.
I suppose, or you can,
I mean, paralyzed means you can't do anything.
I'm open to some role play, or to ask questions, but
Well, it's 20. That'll probably do.
the other Jacob, the other little girl, looks back out and shakes off the effects, and she goes back into her idle attack animation.
I don't know why I couldn't have rolled that last time. Kept my wall. I really like that wall. It's a nice wall.
It was, yeah, it was
Okay.
very shimmery.
Make a
Hey,
fantastic return.
everyone spread out. You don't want to get breathed on. It's really bad.
Mordecai.
Con save. Well, nope.
Apparently this sort of manifestation is spooping you out too much. In its own weird way, Mordecai, you're having maybe in something like this, you're having a flashback to the deck of the ship in Selter, especially as she went through some sort of a transformation or rebirth process herself. So your brain can work, so I might as well feed that. Now we're down to Celine. Celine, you are also shook to your core here as you're gazing up at this thing. This is no angel of Ouijas or anything as heavenly or even damned, as they're kind of two sides of the same coin. You have this old dragon that might excite you in its own ways, yet it has the touch of Shoneroth. Jade, is there a difference? And your brain is just churning as you are standing there. And now it gets to act. And it is going to... fly. And as it flies, Norlai, it is going to take a couple attacks at you here. I expect great things of you. I'm going to presume that a 22 hits you, Norlai.
Mm-hmm. My AC is 16 right now.
Okay. So it is going to fly and bite, claw.
What's the...
Hmm.
Never mind.
Okay. The bite is 21 damage.
Okay. I'm gonna... I'll shoot you.
Ah. A dexterity save. As you look back up and this tiefling fire, wherever you summon it from, it's in your heart or your belly or, wherever you're taught or wherever you feel it as a tiefling, there's that flare in your eyes and you rebuke Mr. Halver here. And your fire just slams into him. There is a moment where this black hair just crosses in front and oh wait, I'm sorry, that's not a reroll. That's it crosses the hair in front and it disperses your fire as if it flicked away a mosquito that was bothering it. And then the hair kind of goes back to, this is all happening kind of simultaneously, but, whatever. I'm giving you some fun narratives and clues.
Can I allow a wild magic roll?
A wild magic roll? On
an innate skill?
Sure. You're, yeah, it's more than a level 1.
Also, no, rely.
Mm-hmm.
You need to roll another d10 for that Hellish Rebuke, because the innate Hellish Rebuke from Tieflings is actually cast at 2nd level, not 1st.
No, it's just 1 per roll.
Yeah, no, it's 1 per day, but the Hellish Rebuke that you cast is actually a 2nd level Hellish Rebuke.
It's just 1 roll per spell.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It should be 3d10, not 2.
Oh, is the
it's
base
a 2d10 level Hellish
2d10?
Rebuke, not a 1st level.
Yeah, base is 2d10, 2nd level is 3d10.
3d10. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and roll, because I would allow for it in this case.
It rolled 2d10.
Yeah, no, it is a 2nd level Hellish Rebuke, not a 1st.
But go ahead and I will allow you to let the chaos magic flow through this intrinsic tiefling magic, as this is a part of who you are in your gift. So you can roll a percentile.
I see what you're doing. Hold on.
And I have to go to the chart.
That d10 was extra damage then, although it didn't.
The hair just seems to kind of like wrap around and like dismiss your rebuke.
Yep. Hold on, let me just...
Mechanically, this would have hit, but it said no.
It used a legendary resistance.
It did.
Yep. This thing's gonna die. Gonna make it die.
Okay.
Then
Possibly we're all gonna die. It's not clear yet.
Not gonna allow that.
A roll of a 3. All right, so Norlai, for the next minute, you can see any invisible creature you have line of sight to.
Well, that's cool.
Is there anything
invisibility,
visible
isn't
in
it?
this Over.
No, but I'll kind of throw a little fun bonus in there just with this is you are with your interesting connection. There's nothing invisible, but certainly Mr. Halver has this odd kind of aura to him. And the aura seems familiar. You're not quite sure where or how, but maybe you could spend another action to figure it out if you wish to. Otherwise, you can keep doing what you're doing, but I'll offer that as an option where there's something about him that can unlock more info on your next action if you would like to roll for it, an appropriate skill. And now we're going to resume, though, as all of this is taking place simultaneously. We have another 11 slashing as he bit, and and you kind of like dodged, but he like scraped down your arm, and you did a little bit of a spin, and a claw came down and caught you for 11. And 12 slashing damage.
Good at
I'm at
all.
8 health. I started at 52.
Okay. And if you want to take a melee attack of opportunity, he's going to continue to swoop up, and he's going to be 30 feet in the air above these trees.
Yeah, let's do. Does it have to be a weapon, or can I use shocking grasp?
I don't think you can react with a spell.
It has to be a
Only-
weapon unless you have Warcaster.
Yeah.
Forecaster lets you attack with spells, but I don't know.
You can punch him.
Good.
Catch him with your tail. Dagger. All right. With a 24, you certainly as he's flying by, and you reach down as you tear yourself away, and you realize you're leaving some skin behind, and you hold up your dagger, and as he continues to fly, it's almost like you're holding it still, and he cuts himself on the swoop up as you're holding your dagger out with your arm, and you have the blood's coming down, and things are kind of dire. But now we come back up to the top, and at the top of the initiative is Norlai. Norlai, what are you doing?
I meant to cast that.
You are not casting that, or you are?
I meant to upcast. It didn't.
Yeah, she meant to upcast it. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Try that again.
I might not have had it set right.
Well, so what? Just roll the extra damage. Keep this for the sake of keeping things moving.
Yeah.
Keep this and just roll the extra damage and make sure you're
I'm
expending the
rolling-
proper slot.
Yeah, I'm doing it at 5th level, so it's going to be
Extra 2d10.
2 extra d10.
Okay. So your eyes would I don't know if they cloud over or you're getting some sparks or something going through, and.
Sparks on there.
Call lightning actually forms a cloud, or is it a bolt out of
It
the
does
blue?
form a cloud.
Okay.
It forms a 60-foot cloud. 60-foot diameter?
Radius.
All right.
Radius.
So
Radius.
right here,
Even bigger.
60-foot radius, 5 foot thick.
the skies
Yeah,
darken,
5 foot high and
and
100 feet above.
here on this beach, localized entirely on this map, is the Aurora Borealis.
It's the
And-
Aurora Borealis.
So we have this dark and stormy, maybe even kind of a violet tinged cloud that is summoned. And Norlai, you can either you can let the chaos flow, or you can roll for it to try and contain it. But you are gonna hit Mr. Halver with your lightning.
Let me roll the extra.
And I'll need the damage also.
Or 2d10. So 14 damage. And then
Okay.
1d20. 9.
Okay. So as this magic is flowing through you, you close the door, so to speak, and you don't let this surge right along with your lightning bolt.
You're not gonna ride the lightning?
Any movement? Anything as a bonus action or an item interaction?
Let me see what I got real quick.
After Norlai is going to be Jacob, then Bright.
I'm going to... I'm gonna use Quicken spell.
If you're gonna quit, you can quicken a cantrip.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I am going to cast Resistance on Mordecai.
Okay.
So you can add a d4 to your saving throw.
Perfect.
Hey. Look at you. Okay. Now we come down. Or wait, there's no more movement from you, Norlai. Do you want to run?
Where am I?
Run, Nora, run. You don't have to.
I'll stay here.
Okay. Jacob, we're over to you. There's this lavender, maybe. Again, I don't want to paint your spells for you, but there's this thunder cloud that manifests overhead. Lightning comes streaking down.
Well, this is mighty unusual, to put it mildly. Still, it's an attempt to end up getting through.
You're fighting it, and it still holds you.
Damn.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a high.
This is
I am not gonna get out of this.
This is an oof.
There is no way in hell.
Well, I got out with a 20, so we know that that's what it takes.
Jacob,
Do you know what
you're
it takes to
fighting
me
it
to get a 20?
and fighting it.
20.
I'll cast
A natural
Resistance on you
19.
next.
So close enough.
Bright.
I don't have any more importance. I'm sorry.
I have Resistance.
That's right. It's not your fault. I'm just gonna need to figure out a way to deal with it.
Bright, you are free of this paralyzing stare from beyond.
Okay, that's nice. I have. Okay, so I have. So he's 30 feet up in the air. Did you say?
Mm-hmm. Above two trees.
How close to him, like on the map, what square would I need to be in order to cast a spell with a 30-foot range?
You'd be able, because kind of playing by squares, diagonals. Apparently, hypotenuses don't exist in this world, and so as long as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're within 30 feet right now at an angle.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. I have another question.
Yep.
So if I cast a conjuring spell, how much control would you give me over the type of creature that it conjures?
I guess what's the normal? What's the spell do normally? I'm open-minded, but
It's conjure minor elementals, and I want gargoyles.
Are gargoyles?
They're elementals.
Are they? Well, they're elementals, but are they within the CR, or are you just are you doing something cosmetic?
Or two, and that's a legal thing in the spell. I just wondered if you'd let me do it or not. Like to say I want a gargoyle specifically.
Oh, so unless the spell says that you can only have, for whatever reason, you can only have an elemental from the monster manual. Like, is there a purposeful restriction, or is it just saying an elemental?
It's just like usually the interpretation is the DM chooses the specific type of creature,
Oh.
and I wondered if you were going to hold me to that, or if you were going to say no, you're going to get, Azores and like it.
That's right. This is cutthroat, vicious D&D here, everyone. My players' spells are my playthings. No, that's fine. Mechanically, if they'll fit, you can conjure this kind of amalgamation of air and earth element. I know it's an earth elemental, but still, these odd flying rock things.
Okay, that's good to know. So now that I know the rules, Sorry to waste all that time. So, hey, Mr. Halver, why do dragons sleep during the day? So they can fight nights.
All right.
Oh,
This is a wisdom saving throw. Let's see what I have. $1d20 wisdom.
Oh,
Oh, yikes.
okay. Well, that didn't work. Sorry guys, I tried. And now let's, 1, 3, 4. I guess I'll go here.
Okay.
That's in range. Sorry, I tried. And that's all. I don't have anything else.
Right, so that was Bright. Now we have Mordecai, Celine, and then Mr. Halver.
I make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
and you get out a D4.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you gonna do it? Ah! 19. You got an 18 plus the 1. What are the odds?
Yeah.
So-
on.
So, Mordecai... Mordecai, you're fighting it, and Norelai just kind of like looks over, and her eyes, we have this little pleading moment. Actually, you know what? I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but Derek almost has an illustration that has kind of a concept, an emotional representation of this exact moment right now. But when, if you've seen it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But for anyone out there in the audience, you'll see it soon enough as I get it worked into the channel here. But remember, this moment right now, you're going to see an artistic interpretation of that in an upcoming piece of art for the channel. All right.
That would make it my turn then, right?
Yes, as Mordecai can't seem to shake it off, a whoa-ho.
Nope.
Oh,
Now there's Celine.
Celine,
We're stuck. We cannot do anything. We are stuck.
you're gazing at the maybe this is the interpretation, like as your brain is just taking in this. I mean, it's a dragon, it's also an eldritch abomination, and you pineapple pen them together, and your brain is just sort of processing everything that's happening right now as you're gazing up at this thing and taking anatomical notes to sketch in your book later.
Oh, I'm going to, but
I have something.
I
to
also
help
want
with this. I
samples.
just need to shake it loose.
and then heal me.
All right, it is now time for Mr. Halver to do something. He is 30 feet in the air, which is fine, as he is going to... you're going to see his rib cage begin to expand, and as this happens, you just see ice crystals start to form, and the hair begins freezing in like a snow.
Please.
A snow begins falling here, and a wintry blast blows out. Let's see, this is 60 feet ahead of him, and so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is going to catch.
Doesn't hit Herbert.
This is gonna catch everyone here, including the trees in the river too. I don't know if that makes any of you feel better, but I'm damaging my own environment. So as this happens, I need each of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Does resistance only happen for one round, or is it one save?
It's one save.
One save.
Oof.
If you
Nope.
And then 1d20 plus 1.
Okay.
this is gonna hurt.
Well, Norelai, you're the closest one to defying the cold breath, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough here. As that's a lot of dice. Cold damage, 53.
So if you would like to know, Maddie,
Yes.
I am now on 10 hit points.
Noted.
D3, okay.
And still paralyzed.
Yes.
I'm down. Fenry's back to statue, and Herbert's dead.
Okay.
Wait, dead.
He only has 5 HP.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
he's
an awakened
dead.
houseplant. Yeah. Whoop, that's the wrong menu.
Oh no. I think we've walked into a TPK, guys.
All right. At this point, he is going to move. Oh, and 60-foot cone. I already used that color. This will work. Kind of a... That... No? There we go. And a little bit kind of coming out this way. I'm going to say that there's a chunk of ice. Now, you have water walk. In case there's anything that you'd like to do, this is frozen within this section here. Okay. He is going to swoop and go from here to here. And now we come up to Norali's turn. All right. You shiver a bit.
That's a death save.
Yes.
She's out.
Yeah, she's like out.
Jacob.
Come on.
Hey!
Yes.
Jacob, you just... No! And you flex, and the ice cracks and breaks around you, and you're free to move on your next turn, but you're free to move again. As you've broken this otherworldly enthrallment.
I can't move, but I'm trying to end up covering the civilians behind me.
Okay, I mean, if you want to do something like, spread your arms out, or, do like a quick, hey, or something, that's fine.
At this point, he reaches in, he draws his sword and clashes it against his shield in a form of challenge. And it's at this point I'd like to invoke Second Wind, and I'm bringing back to 11, bringing me back to 52 HP.
I'm taking another one of those.
In these, all out in these circumstances, technically the save would have come at the end of your turn. But for something like a second wind or something, I'm fine with that.
We'll play a true rule. Still getting used to it. I don't play melee characters frequently.
Nope,
so
that's fine.
I'll
But
hold
you're
off on that
free.
until next round.
You kind of. I'll let you do that. Like you bang the shield and you're trying to position yourself to cover. We now come over to Mordecai.
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw.
Come on, big money.
It's a 15. You're fighting. Mordecai is probably just getting your borrowed blood to boil as you're watching all this happening, and you're being a spectator in your own fight.
In my own skin.
And in your own skin. Your body's just not moving. Celine.
That would make. Is Bright?
Wait. No, I'm sorry. I did, yeah. Here, I'm getting so excited, in this combat. I'm at the edge of my seat here. I'm sorry, Bright should have had a turn. Bright, go ahead and do something. I'm sorry. If we need to go back and wiggle something in order, then that's fine. I'll work with you, because that was my fault.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's do... Ooh, there's so few things I can do. Especially with the positioning the way it is. Things have gone.
If you wanted to, you'd be going back into the cluster, but you can always take the aid action. Like, if you wanted to move back and give someone an aid, you could. I would be willing to go back because it was my fault for advancing. You
No,
could
no, it's
aid
okay.
Mordecai in a con save. You could aid. You could try and
Aid
do
is
a
not-
medicine roll.
Aid is not the thing that I would do here. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's just not the right choice. This isn't the way I wanted to do it, but it's what we have to do.
Banishment.
At the obvious target.
All right. So Jacob still. I mean, I need to slash roll. This is a charisma saving throw.
Yeah.
All right. Unless you have any shenanigans.
Oh, it's not a great option.
As
Okay.
your spell's manifesting, it seems like the hair is almost acting as a counter to this bright banishment. Is it's like, sort of like absorbing or diffusing the light. Mechanically, I'm not
banishment
using a
doesn't-
legendary resistance, but I want to bring some flavor and some narrative to this.
Yeah, banishment doesn't really work well on high charisma. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move here.
Okay. So that was Bright's turn. Then Mordecai, we had your turn, but there was no mechanical difference to change the roll. So we'll go with what's there. And now we're down to Celine.
Please. Not.
On the second number.
On
Alright.
the second number.
And so Celine, you are still shook here.
I am not getting out of that without a 19 or 20, and if he comes back around with another breath attack, we're screwed.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So, you see that once more, he kind of like stretches and takes a big inhalation, though holds it, and comes down, and just plops in this stream right here, and swoops down. And Jacob, here, Mr. Halver, stands before you, and as he's bringing his face super close, and those eyes, those are not the eyes of a beast or a dragon. I mean, you've not really seen dragon eyes, but of an animal. These are definitely the beasts of the beasts of a person, the eyes of a person. These green eyes, this black hair, and for a moment, maybe because of a sun ray coming from the side that glints off, you swear you see maybe a flash of yellow streak across the silver scales as little mirrors. Or is that your face, or is that the face of Jade? I mean, you're siblings, so there's some similarities, but just so close. And here, you too must be tested. And I'm going to make some attacks against you.
18 AC, I ain't got nothing special.
Okay. In that case, the last one will not hit. So you will be bitten once and clawed once. And it's and Mr. Halver, if that's what you want to call him, is going to try and tear and test. 2d10 plus.
I'm paralyzed. I can't say anything, can I?
You can't monologue. If you want to squeak out, even the Tin Man got to say oil in the Wizard of Oz. So, I maybe
Can't squeak out a cutting words, can I?
Rules by rule, that's a
Well,
reaction.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that would be. If you want to do something non-magical, or you even want to show intent like you meant to, but it just didn't manifest, that's fine. All right, bite.
Ooh. So let's stay here. 20.
God, I need to get free. I need to get free.
Ooh. That's almost putting Jacob down. He is wounded. He is slashed. He is tired. He is.
I need to get free.
Okay.
It's at...
Hmm. Do you have a reaction to this attack at all, or anything that you're? That was a bite. It's going to go for a claw.
All right. Jacob doesn't.
Okay. Do you want to describe? Because what I will do, the third one is missing you anyway. But given the unique nature of what's happening here, I will have that block this incoming claw attack. But you describe what's happening as this thing is leaned down, kind of spooked you. It bit you, and it's going for this claw. What do people see?
Jacob is up here trying to do his best to fend off the attack, hiding behind his shield as the bite goes over it was clenching onto his shoulder. The claw ends up coming to his side as his shield arms pinned. He does his best to try and deflect it with the sword, and as he ends up doing so, the collision happens, except the claw stops inches away as it seems to be entangled, twisted, and he looks between the chain links of his armor. There's this wrapping, the same black hairs that coming out of Mr. Halver seem to be coming out of Jacob as it intertwines and seems to pull and rip the claw away from him, though his sword arm seems to be well out of position and his shield arm is out of place at this point.
And similar to how you pulled back the handkerchief, you have Mr. Halver pulling back its claw from this entanglement that's coming from you. Yes.
What was that?
And Mr. Halver will kind of stay here, looking down at you as in this scene. The other one would have come in too, but I mean, just the circumstances. I didn't even roll that well for that one anyway. Norelai, you're on the ground. Just you're unconscious, but you can still almost feel and hear things that are happening. Oh no. Don't give up hope, Norelai. Hang in there. We come back to Jacob. You're not mechanically bound to the dragon. You can...
I am going to use a healer's pack to try and stabilize Norelai.
Alright, does using a charge of that, is that an auto pass, or does that just give you a, advantage?
It's an auto pass.
Okay.
It circumvents the required medicine check.
Check to stabilize.
Alright, are you disengaging, or are you just falling back and you're willing to take a swipe for it?
You would still have shield up.
No, because he's
Nope,
just started, so it would have come.
What I will do
Oh, that's true.
as a bonus action, it's at this point, because this civilian child is critically wounded. Now is when I'm going to use Second Wind.
Sure.
So we're gonna roll to see what kind of hit points I can
Oh,
get back.
jeez.
11
You rolled another one on this one.
brings me back to 28. That's survivable.
Yeah, it's hit points.
Yeah, I am going to attack. So I'm gonna actually do that. I am going to attack Mr. Halver.
Okay.
And I believe I have 2 attacks at this point. Additional time.
You should.
You do. You have 2 at the moment. Your third one comes next level.
Yeah. I am not rolling well.
All right. So
No, you really
you
aren't.
smack, and the warhammer just seems to, you're making contact, but you don't seem to be affecting this beast. As your warhammer just spanks off the silver scales. Action surge. Ah!
I'm going to step.
Hi, Pupper.
No,
Bumper.
Pupper. We need to sit out loud at the moment.
No. I'm going to step. So, attack of opportunity.
Okay. As you do so, it's going to whip its tail and try and tag you with it.
Roll your hit.
Crits.
Oh. Okay. I need to beat this save. I need to beat this save. I can revive everyone. I just need to beat this save.
No matter what you roll, I think that's Jacob down.
Yeah, but I can bring you back up is the thing. Oh.
28
That's
damage.
Exactly 28.
That is perfectly 0.
Oh. Okay. Right. I need to break this, and then I will res everyone. It's fine. I have healing. I kept a 5th level spell slot just for this.
You move, the tail batters into your back and knocks you forward. You have this healing kit. You're exactly at 0. Now, this was kind of an old 3rd edition mechanic, because you could kind of function at 0 hit points. But what I can allow you to do, if you decide to, you can auto-fail 1 death saving throw in order to administer the smelling salts or whatever to get Norlai stable. It won't get her up unless... I think you have to have the feat for the healing kit to get someone up with a healing kit. Am I correct?
To get them to 1 hit point, yes.
Yeah.
But you can stabilize with the healing kit, no problem.
Okay. So then, with that hit then, Jacob, like, you go down to a knee and your consciousness is fading, but there's this little girl who's kind of like lying face up here, and you're able to, put on like a slap patch of some sort of a poultice or something onto, to start covering her wounds and trying to get her stable. And you do so. As your consciousness begins to fade, and you sort of, if you want to, you can either go face down, if you want to roll on your back to look up at this thing.
I can't take my eyes off of it.
Okay, so you fall on your back, rolling, and the creature simply looks down. You could also use your foot.
Okay, so that is, Jacob's turn.
That was Jacob's turn. We now have Bright, Mordecai, Celine.
Yep.
We don't hear you, Bright.
Sorry, I was munching. I put myself on mute. Well, it sure is tough. But there's only a few things left that'll work. See how it's the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do this.
I just need to get out of there.
Take 2 steps forward.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Halver, I heard about a gnome who killed a dragon once. She got stuck in his throat.
All right. let's give it another wisdom check here. 1d20.
Fail. Damn it!
And the eyes, you just sort of slink back behind the shack.
Why do you roll so good?
The eyes just like look up at you, and there's a moment where the eyes almost like turn into smiling eyes, but the manifestation of the mechanics of the spell don't seem to take effect here.
That's all I got.
Okay. Mordecai,
Constitution saving
all
throw.
of this is happening around you. We need you, Mordecai. I know this is tough.
That's a little bit.
Oh, a 19,
It's
you
a little bit more
tease!
than tough.
You absolute tease! Oh my gosh.
10% of even. It's a 10% chance of even succeeding the save.
It is.
And then there's actually surviving till next turn.
This is a tough one. I completely understand. I'm not. This isn't a DM power trip. I understand the weight of everything that's happening here.
Oh, come on,
Okay.
come on.
All right,
Damn it!
Celine.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
you're just enthralled by the anatomy of this otherworldly beast.
We've passed 30 seconds.
Almost.
know.
This is the end of round 4.
Sorry, 24 seconds. Only another 36 seconds left to
When
go.
you can't do anything else, you count seconds.
Oh.
All right, so we have Norlai is stable, Jacob is down, Celine and Celine and Mordecai are still paralyzed, and so you hear Bright. You've kind of hidden behind the shanty there. Bright, come out, wherever you are, and is going to flap up into the air. 1, 2, 3, 4. And is 40 feet above you. Bright, what did the police officer say to the criminal? Freeze. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as it opens its mouth and just this snow starts falling on top of you.
Don't really think it's gonna matter.
That's still a tough little con save, though. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter here, as the cold breath is still going to deal the damage it's going to deal, which is...
Is this a party? What? We have 2 people already down.
29?
Okay, I'm down.
Okay.
3 down.
And Mr. Halver finishes the movement and crushes the seaside shack. And Bright is in, I don't know, what kind of a pose would you like to be frozen in? Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, what?
One.
A cute one.
A cute one?
You're frozen and it's snowing.
Probably just, I'm looking up and I'm like pointing at him and I'm like,
Okay.
and I'm frozen.
Okay. All right. Norlai, you're stabilized. So we'll see what happens here. You're stable. Again, as I've been describing this, you could be kind of conscious, like maybe you could catch glimpses of things. You obviously can't act as you're, if I were to crit you, it'd be the -2 because you're still technically unconscious, but I'm allowing you to still kind of like observe and be a part of this in a way that could turn into something here. Jacob, death saving throw.
I'm at 2
Jacob's
fails.
at 2.
Wait, 2 fails? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Because
no,
he took the 1 in order to
you took the
auto-stabilize
fail.
Norlai
Yeah,
when
yeah.
being reduced to 0.
I realized it as soon as I said it.
Bright, death saving throw.
Hey,
And Norlai also needs to make a death save.
let's see, where are they? There they are.
Yeah, she's
There's a
stable.
12.
Well,
Okay.
I feel-
Okay.
yeah.
So Bright, you're still looking up. Mordecai, you see this happening, and it's perched next to a frozen Bright pointing up, and Mr. Halver's looking in the direction of you and Celine.
I used my birthday crit last time, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I used mine too.
Well, hold
Go.
on. All right.
Do it.
It's a 10%. No,
No.
that's a 3. All right.
My turn.
Now, Celine, your turn. The gambler's fallacy states that obviously one of you is going to pass this sooner than later.
Nope.
All right. We come back to Mr. Halver, and this is going to be the end of 30 seconds here. And comes over. And looks between Celine and Mordecai. Do either of you want to give some sort of a one-word murmur or a twitch or something in your paralyzed state as Mr. Halver is examining each of you?
A twitch.
Glare at him evilly.
Yeah, glare.
Oh, we're having a glare off. Okay. Sure. Tell you what, each of you just make a charisma roll.
Intimidation?
Crit.
Oof. Nah, just a charisma. Although,
Just charisma? Alright.
I mean, go ahead and roll because we'll see this. This would be interesting if you also got a. Okay.
No.
All right. Mordecai is staring daggers at Mr. Halver. By the way, it seems that a fickle god has manifested on the battlefield here. I will need a fickle god to let me know what is manifesting here. Let me add this real quick. But Mordecai, you have Mr. Halver's attention. Oh, get Celine up for God's sake. I mean, for that, Black Wolf. And hey, Mr. Wolfie, welcome. And Volvo's here. Volvo, look away, my sweet summer child. Look away. You don't want to be here. So Black Wolf, what I'll do, because that was very generous, and so all of you know as well, because while I do accept the favors of fickle gods, I don't try and bait them out by putting you into extremely mortal circumstances. This is completely voluntary on Black Wolf's behalf here. But as I will allow for a fickle god to manifest, and I suppose in this fashion, Celine, your prayer might not have been immediately answered. However, you feel a manifestation of your divine intervention that you tried to call upon before. That apparently it just had to ring a couple times because Weejass's board is a little busy right now. In this instance, because it's kind of a loosey-goosey interpretation. A lot of times it's like, well, just a spell that you might be able to cast otherwise, and you use it as a bonus spell. You can ask for something greater. I'm going to leave this up to you, though. I am not a notorious wish lawyer. However, so if you wish for a ton of gold, I'm not necessarily going to have it, fall on top of you and kill you.
No.
To be buried under 2,000 pounds of gold. But I'm going to leave the wording up to you to think about what you'd like to have manifest. As I'm going to be, I guess, attacking Mordecai here. Unless you already had something in mind and you're ready to go.
I do have something in mind, actually.
Okay.
So the prayer, it's like, my mistress, the Crimson Lady, give us, me, and my friends, the strength to fight, the strength to drive off this thing that should not be, that cannot be, the strength to erase this abhorrence from existence in your name.
All right. What I will have happen is your level. Let's see, you're level 10. Above each of you, so Bright, as you're looking up and pointing, Jacob, you're on your back looking up. Norlai, you're unconscious, but you're kind of fading in and out in this state here. You each see this little kind of cherub-style angel manifest above you with a grinning skull and wings of blue flame. And it slowly descends. It slowly descends down on each of you, and for this, you are. You are each going to be given. Life now, in tribute for life later. And what will happen is you're level 10. Let's just do this. Each of you are going to receive 39 hit points as your body is infused with this. It's necromantic magic, but it's restorative. Like, you can feel it, wriggling through your viscera and your bones. You can feel your bodies being knitted back together from the inside. It might even tickle a bit. I don't know. It's your character. But each of you have this restored by this little cherub of death that has visited upon you and is granting you this false life. Well, not really style. It's not temps, but is granting you life that you shouldn't have now. And so you're in this. You have a false life to you. And so, Celine, I'm going to count this as a use of like your prayer had been answered. And so this ability won't be able to be used for a week.
Yep. All right. That's fine.
As a fickle
I'm
god.
totally okay with
that. We have fickle god versus pickle god here in the emotes. Okay. So this manifests, and Mordecai, you give this. You're still paralyzed in this case, but you gave this thing just the nastiest glare. And it wants to pick on you, and it'll attempt to do so. And now, as you are paralyzed, I believe all of my melee attacks are going to count as crits if I hit you, because of that.
And they have advantage.
So this is going to be you.
A lot of damage.
Want to be a hero? Then be a hero. Mordecai. And I'm going to roll this just one at a time. Roll 2d20. This is going to be for the bite.
Low rolls. Low rolls. Low rolls. Whammies. Whammies. Whammies.
Okay. So I imagine a 20 still hits you?
20 would hit, yes.
Okay. So the bite is going to hit, and that is going to deal...
Wait. To be clear...
Yeah?
To be clear, this is against Mordecai?
Yes.
Then I would like you to... reduce the one that hits.
It'll still hit because it causes disadvantage to an attack targeting an ally within 5 feet. Even with disadvantage, he's still going to hit and crit.
The first one puts me at 0.
Okay. So in this case, Mordecai, it goes in and it bites you, and you feel just because you're dead doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, and it pierces your body, and you're slammed back on the ground, and Mr. Halver then looks over to Celine next, and we're gonna try a claw on Celine. All right, and this is going to be a 27, I imagine.
It'll be a 23.
We have different claw damage.
It's still gonna crit me.
So that's going to be 19 points of slashing damage from the claw.
Okay.
Are you still up?
Yes.
Okay. The last claw of the trifecta attack here. Slash roll 2d20 plus... Okay. A 20 or a 1. Boy, feast or famine on that one. Ultra crit. But it'll still end up critting. / roll 4d6 plus 8. Whoops. Hang on. I can't type numbers apparently. 4d plus. All right, 22 slashing.
I'm still up.
And your body's just raked. And pain is flowing through you as your blood is flowing out. But you're still up and defiant. We come back up to Norlai. I know things are desperate. If you still want to take the action to observe and do something, you may. Otherwise, you can still continue with what you're doing, and I'm not trying to bait you towards either one. It's simply an option on the side that you have. Otherwise, I would allow for.
I'm up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to stand. That uses half your movement, but yeah, you're conscious with hit points.
Lightning bolt.
You are gonna move before you cast that, right?
Yeah, I'll move.
Because otherwise you're going
Otherwise
to
you get
push
lit.
Well, I'm
Jacob
aiming up.
and...
Diagonals. He's in the air.
Oh, he's in the air, that's true, yeah.
Is he in the air? He
No,
wouldn't have
he's
been
on the
able to hit me.
ground. I mean,
Oh, he's on the
ground,
he's
then, yeah,
tall
you're gonna
enough.
have to
You can
move.
shoot at a diagonal at his head or whatever, and still hit him.
Oh, okay.
Because he's
Okay,
20 feet
yeah.
tall.
Or
Yeah,
I'll
no,
move
that's
here
right.
because Fenry's not there, actually.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So you're gonna stand up. You're gonna move there, and you're gonna cast. You're gonna
he
cast
needs
lightning
to
bolt.
Make a dex save.
Okay.
Yeah. Failure. Failure.
What do I have?
Failure.
1, 2,
Failure.
Needs to be defective.
Hex. Hexing your dice.
You made it.
17.
Damn it. It's gonna take half.
Are you willing? Are you wanting to manifest chaos magic, or do you want to try and suppress it?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Which one?
All right. Fireball coming in.
20.
Oh, a 20. Let's go to the old
Alright.
player's handbook. A 20. You cast grease centered on yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So that
roll
is
the dex save.
yeah.
Roll the
That,
dex
so
save against your spell save DC.
15.
and so grease goes
that'll
out 10
pass
feet
then.
off of
10
her.
feet.
Okay.
So it hits the dragon.
Yep.
Make another dex save, Mr. Halver.
Oh, so I was already prone, so that just
Yeah.
changes nothing.
Oh yeah. It's just your back's getting a little wet as this grease is like secreting itself underneath you.
I need to
Okay.
roll. I automatically fail a dex save, so I'm on my ass.
I made it.
Yep. So yeah, Celine, you, whoop, and Mr. Halver just sort of like goes like slips, and you just see like some hair acts as like a kickstand and keeps him from slipping. Mechanically, I didn't use anything other than a die roll, but I want to explain that the hair is a part of Mr. Halver right now. So okay, and half of the damage then from a successful.
Which will be
Half of 38.
19. Be 19 damage.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, Mr. Halver just kind of is still shocked, just not as harshly, and he looks to you. Good, more. Anything else, Norlai? Otherwise, we're going to
Okay.
Jacob.
I'm going to quicken spell again.
Okay.
To my point. I'm going to. I'm gonna step forward and use Chakra Grasp.
Ooh, all right. You're stepping up to Senpai here. Unfortunately, that will not end up hitting.
Nope.
Okay. But you made an attempt. lethality. We'll get to a point here where because I know you're time sensitive right now, so I'll honor that.
I just wanna not be paralyzed and do something.
Yeah.
That is what I would like.
Jacob, what are you doing?
At this point, I need to stand and
Deliver.
one can hope.
Stand and deliver, Jacob.
I am going to purposely move myself into along here, hopefully being able to take away from, or keep away or keep Mr. Halver from attacking the party.
Okay.
I'm going to taunt, and I'm specifically using the dodge action at this point.
Okay, so I'm attacking you with disadvantage. We come over to Bright. Bright, this warm light and life flows through you. The ice kind of breaks and melts off, and you're free to do what you're gonna do.
Okay, so that feels kind of weird. Let me ask you about the rules for birthday crits. Can I use that to make the dragon crit fail?
I have traditionally not, as it's your die to use on yourself, so you can step up and do what you want to do. That's for you and not for my monsters.
Okay, that's unfortunate, but it's the
An attack
it's what we
roll?
have. Why?
I mean, if
Well,
No,
you
we'll
are
just-
a divination wizard who's used to doing this. I'm kind of curious about it. All right, for Bright, the divination wizard, who's used to manipulating other people's dice as per her class that she's been playing, if you wish to use your birthday crit, I will allow you to manipulate another monster as per it being loaded into your prognostications or whatever they are at the beginning of the day.
Get the ball.
Portents. There we go.
Okay. So that's a yes then on the crit fail.
A crit fail on what?
Oh, like hypothetically, if I cast another screw you spell on Mr. Halver and I want him to fail the save, that's what I'm.
Oh, well, yeah, because you would replace that die with a well. Oh,
'Cause I don't want to give him a 20. That's
yeah.
not useful.
I'm willing to let you, I guess, impose a 20 on someone else, but I wouldn't. Well, I guess it'd be the same thing. This is weird.
Well, actually,
That's all right.
Hold on. If you cast it
I'll just use
normally,
it on Celine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just use it on
Yeah,
Okay.
use it
It's
on
fine.
me, and I can heal people.
Enough. So meanwhile, I take 2 steps forward. We'll have one more. Hey, Mr. Halver, what do they call someone who seems nice and then suddenly betrays all their friends? A fucking bitch.
Oh, Bright, yeah, just suddenly, like, Bright's face is still bright, but everything else gets dark as she just drops the F-bomb.
Selena,
The one we're allowed.
her paralyzed state
The
is
one
like-
F-bomb.
That's
Shade.
my one F-bomb for my whole lifetime.
Yeah, that's... Poor little innocent Bright here came up and dropped an F-bomb. And I need to roll another save here. Let me bring
Please
up
don't
the
save.
the
Please don't
stats.
save.
This is not charisma. This is a wisdom save.
Wisdom.
Yeah, that's better.
1d20 plus
Oh, I wish I'd been able to pop off a bane.
16.
That's gonna succeed.
Oh.
Oh,
Exactly.
But I will say this though, as much as Jacob is here, like Jacob, like the creature was looking down at you, but when Bright popped out from behind the ruins of this cabin and just said, like, you felt a chill through you, and it wasn't from a dragon breath. This was much colder. This is a physical coldness to hear the torture in a poor little forest gnome's heart, where she actually comes to the point where she says those words. It's like you've been hit by an icy blast from behind, and even Mr. Halver looks up from you to Bright, and just the jaw just not in a breath weapon, but just sort of like, What did you say? And then you scamper behind the ruins of the wooden sea shanty here.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's my turn. Another fail.
I'm so sorry. Wow.
All right, so Jacob, you might be fighting for enmity here with Bright after just such a, just such a tongue lashing here, such a scorching. No bardic rebuttals or anything could hope to compete. Mordecai, what are you doing?
Death save.
Okay. All right.
1 success.
Celine, what are you doing?
I have to.
Celine is getting a birthday crit.
Sure.
My 20.
All right, so Celine, everything kind of flashes pink for a moment. Where'd that come from? Well, whatever. And the effects of this paralyzation are driven from your body and replaced by the smell of nice baked goods and the warmth of a forest on a summer's day.
Yep. So that was at the end of my turn, yes?
Yes.
Would you allow me to make a performance check to attempt to seem like I am still paralyzed?
Sure. We'll roll that versus, I guess what will be its
It would be
passive
probably
insight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
All right, so go ahead and roll your performance.
Oh!
Oh,
Ooh.
all right. Even with the passive insight that it has, kind of looks at you and gives you a scrutinous eye and a little smile on its twisted draconic face.
Oh no.
However, you are free to roam about the cabin.
Well, I mean, that was the end of my turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's his turn.
Now, question, because we did hit 3 o'clock and you have to go. Do you want any autopilot, or do you all want to suspend the game here? We'll close our 3DS, so it stops the game here, and we pick up next week.
We have time for another round since Celine's next round is
we
Sure.
do have time for one more.
Okay, then it is going to go. And first things first, let's see if it gets frosty. It does not. And so we have Celine and Jacob. Jacob, you're standing firm here, and the little gnome has kind of gone back into hiding. And while Celine
is he gonna go
wiggly,
after Bright?
Kinda hoping he does.
Yeah, is he gonna go after Bright after the things that she said?
Ooh, I might be able to.
Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Bright is just a little too far away. Unless.
Do you have fly 60 as a dragon?
No, I fly 80.
Oh, okay, well then. Then I'm not too far.
No. I was seeing if I could be coy and sort of split my attacks between the two of you, but you're just too far for me, Bright. But yeah, what will have happen here is he will stomp up. Celine, if you want to make an attack of opportunity, you can. Jacob, it's gonna sort of pivot around you, so it's not leaving a threatened square.
Would I
But
be able to make one as well?
uh,
I was standing. I'm under.
oh
Henry.
yeah, there you are.
You want to move, Henry?
Yeah, there we go. I didn't see you. Yeah, you can make an attack of opportunity as well.
Damn it!
Just gotta beat that 29 AC, right?
Yeah, you're level 10. I expect no less from you. Unfortunately, both the attacks are going to bounce off its silvered hide, interwoven, sort of reinforced by this sable hair, and it is going to. Oh, is the juice worth it? Yeah, you know what? You stepped up. It is gonna try and make an example. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna wheel around you, Jacob. Celine and Norlai are getting an attack of opportunity, and Jacob, you're looking at this, and it turns, and so it looks like it's gonna bite you. And as that happens, and it looks like it's rearing up. Bright, you see the tail that has a 15-foot reach lifts in the air and smacks down on you.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I don't get a multi-attack with the tail, so this is it. I'm presuming a 20 hits?
Under normal circumstances, yes.
Uh-huh.
But
Not this time.
yes.
Oh, okay. So
My
yeah,
AC 21.
Jacob, you're psyched out as you see the tail slam down and planks and sand go whoosh up there, and then as everything settles, Bright Bright is just holding the tail with her shield, as it kind of like deflects off, and there she is just standing swollen, untouched. I only get one tail attack. All right, Norlai, we're back up to you.
Hey, Catman, go faster.
Wait,
Okay.
who's that going? Who's that going to?
Jacob.
Jacob,
Jacob.
go ahead and roll a d20 unless you
Jacob is
want to
hasted.
invoke wild magic on this.
Let's roll for that.
Not a 1.
It's not a 7.
Jacob, your body is invigorated, and you're feeling extra jittery.
He feels the need for speed.
Anything else, Norlai?
I'm going to back.
Somebody help me.
All right, as you do, it can't stop you, but it can swipe at you because it does have a reach, and so Norlai, no. And is going to bite you. Did it eat the roll, or did I just input it wonkily?
You put it D210.
Whoops.
So maybe it's a logo.
Well, I'm sorry, Norlai. I guess
Goodbye.
I should be a lot more subtle if I don't want to have a character or something. Jeez. Oh my! Look at that min damage, 1 and 1.
Nice.
All right. So he tags you on the way out for 10 damage. I mean, you still move. It doesn't freeze you in place. Anything else? Otherwise, it's Jacob's turn.
I will
Get around to the.
I will stay like that. I'm good.
Celine is gonna call out to Jacob to get around to the other side of him.
Oh, I'm already on that. Fantastic, darling. Dearie, we're not finished yet. You haven't finished playing with your food. So we're going to do 15, 20. Okay.
You have more than enough movement speed, I'm sure.
Yeah, you have 60 right now.
Fair enough.
If not more.
So if that's the case, I will place myself between
Okay.
Bright and, well, Mr. Halver at this point.
Yes.
Now, I am allowed to take 2 actions, if I understand correct.
You have
your
an
multi attack, and then you have your 1 extra attack for weapon for haste.
Oh, I have no intention.
Or you can dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. It's a limited haste action, but it's an extra attack if you want it.
I use the. Gotta use the extra attack.
Just hack into him. Honestly.
Yeah. At this point, I am going to drop the shield, and I'm going to pull out a hand axe. So I'm going dual wield at this point.
Oh, all right.
Ooh.
4 attack.
Yeah.
Boop-boop.
So 1, 2, 3, and this one has no strength.
Okay. 2 attacks are gonna hit.
Okay, I have a presumption on which ones.
All right, so for a total of
Wow,
18
I
bludgeoning.
cannot
17.
roll. I cannot
17.
roll to save my life.
Oh, those are D8s. The first one was a 5, the second one was a 2, but the first one was a 5, which is decent.
Okay,
But
so a
that's
flurry
extra.
of metal. Just
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding. You almost sound like a blacksmith as you're wailing on the mirrored scales. And as you do, I mean, you see your own face reflected, but you also see this hair. There's these sparks that come up as your weapons collide with this natural metallic armor of this creature, as you are just laying into this thing. Anything else, or is it Bright's turn?
You don't get to hurt anyone else.
All right.
It is Bright's turn.
Bright.
Oh boy.
If you can inflict some kind of trying to inflict some kind of debuff on him.
Been trying all day.
Oh no, this is just me being like anything.
In fairness,
Okay.
every football play is meant to score a touchdown. If you think about it.
Well, not punts. Not punts. Okay. I'm starting to run out of spells too. Okay. I guess we will.
I'm sad because I haven't been able to do anything.
So disappointing. But here it is.
At the very least, the paralysis ends. When you actually fall unconscious, the
I'm
paralysis ends.
unconscious though.
Yeah, but if you're stabilized,
I'm not
I
stable.
might- I can do things about that, can't I?
Okay. So I'm gonna conjure up a gargoyle. The gargoyle looks a lot like Piggy Sue, but it's not.
Okay.
Can it attack this turn? How do you want to rule that?
Summon elementals.
It rolls an initiative.
Yeah,
its own
normally it takes its own initiative,
Um,
but
just go ahead and
that
have it go on
usually
your
has
turn to
it
keep
online.
things simple.
okay. Well, it's whoops, that's more than oh, I changed this to the dragon section. Just a minute.
Okay.
I don't have the stats for it. It's around here somewhere. I'm sorry. I
It'd be
did
a
not come
G.
prepared to class. Yeah, I know.
While Bright's looking that up, Mordecai, do you want to roll a death saving throw? Because you're going to go next anyway.
Yeah. Let's pass.
Okay.
It's a pass.
140.
It's 2 passes.
Each 140. Okay, so it has 2 attacks, a bite and a claw. They're both plus 40 hit.
Okay. Roll
Bite
that
first.
beautiful bean footage.
That's not very good.
No.
Um,
You must have somebody's
okay,
sickness.
so that's yeah. Okay, so all that about nothing. Guess that's all. Oh, I get to move. So what's in here? Like what's in the Eldritch horror space?
Not too much. It's just, it looks kind of like a partially, like some of the waves have come up, but it just looks like a big pile of black hair that's kind of been blowing away in the wind and being washed out by waves that are lapping the shore.
Okay, well I don't want to step in the black hair, so I'll just move kind of into the rubble here.
Okay, that's fine. Even through difficult terrain, you still have enough movement to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, that's all.
Mordecai makes the save. Now we're to Celine. Celine, you're free.
Celine looks over to the unconscious Mordecai. And then up to Mr. Halver, who's like, he's gonna be like, you'll need to wait just a second. I have some work to do. So if I move here,
Okay.
I'm gonna have flanking against Mr. Halver, aren't I?
In another edition, yes.
Well, I mean that's how flanking works in 5th edition as well.
It's also optional rule. We've already ruled this like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Or do we not use flanking?
No,
We're not
we
using
haven't been
flanking.
using
We've never
flanking.
been using it.
All right. Damn. Okay. Bonus action then.
Okay.
I am feeding Mordecai. Actually, hold on. Who else needs healing here? Is it just Mordecai?
I mean, I think we all need some
Everyone's
healing,
hands just sort of
we
feebly
all
go up.
need somebody who's like in desperate need.
I'm not that desperate. I'm relatively
Yeah.
non-desperate. Unless I get breathed on again, then I die.
Relatively
Who's in
non-desperate.
desperate need? Is it just you?
I think so. I don't know. I'm the only one unconscious right now.
Get up, Mordecai.
What are you casting?
Healing word at you.
Your magic does not work on me. You know this.
Oh wait. Damn it. Okay, I can't do that. Right. Never mind then. I'll go with my first thing. So forget the healing word.
Mm.
Instead, this is gonna be some 2D fighting game super level stuff right now, because I
Bring it on.
am going to try
Inflict.
and do that.
Unfortunately, a 16 isn't going to be enough to get through. As you try and press your hand to the silver scales, the black hair just seems to like flow over and like get in the way of your magic as you pump the spell into the creature, but the hair seems to baffle it.
I can't do anything. I cannot do anything. Alright, well then... Bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't do it.
All right. Did you want to suspend here then? Since it sounded like you wanted to try and set something up to carry over at the beginning.
I was just going to cast an inflict wounds and then chuck a channel divinity on top, but
Okay.
I didn't get.
Okay. Then what we'll do is pause, save our game, put it in a suspend state. On this very heated battleground on the beach, and we are suspending at Mr. Halver's turn in this setup. And so obviously no restored spell slots or anything. Any status conditions or hit points are going to remain the same.
I spent the whole combat paralyzed.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It does happen time and again.
I'm the healer.
Screams the bard beautifully. Well, hopefully it'll drop off, or some shenanigans can happen to get you.
I'm at 0 hit points. The paralysis is gone. I just need to get back up.
Yep. Well, stay tuned next week as the exciting conclusion to the battle with Mr. Halver finds an end some way, shape, or form.
It's probably going to be a TPK because I don't have a lot of spell slots left, and
Maybe.
the only mass heal I have.
Just remember, combat isn't always about the spells you have and the mechanics you can throw dice at.
Well, it's not like we can run. We have no teleportation, and he moves faster than us.
My teleportation circle got interrupted.
Yeah, but also go. You have a week to study the map to come up with ideas. You still have Water Walk active.
I have one idea.
Norlai has one idea already. But what I'll do, Lethality, so you can go to Gathering of Nerds. Oh, what's your prompt and your level tonight for a one-shot?
Prompt is cats and level 15.
Level 15 cats. Oh.
Cats. As far as I'm aware, no one's playing it to back.
Okay. I mean, that would have been the meta choice, but sure.
I would have thought you would have taken the opportunity to play the module like Cats and Catacombs or something.
No.
All right. Well, hey, go ahead and get going. We'll table talk and have some fun here, and then when we see you go live, we'll go give you guys a raid at the Gathering of Nerds.
So.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
Yep, no problem.
Knocking on wood to hope that we might be able to get out of this alive without more dead party members.
Oh, don't worry, you get used to it.
Oh.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and this is a game about wills.